for more information.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
A gorgeous Saturday across central Indiana as seen right now from our Weather Now cameras. Nothing but sunny skies and warm temperatures without the high humidity, but there is a change coming after tonight. Thanks for joining us here at 6 o'clock. I'm Nicole Griffin here in the tracking center with meteorologist Kyle Mounts. Kyle, I don't feel like we could have asked for a better Saturday.
Yeah, you know, we had the heat creep up a little bit today, but you mentioned it's that humidity so low today, and we'll take that anytime we can get it here in the month of July. We did squeeze out a 90-degree high temperature. That's the 8th time that we've made it to 90 so far this year. Looks like we'll probably get there again tomorrow. Right now, we've got a temperature of 89 in downtown. Show you the heat index here, too, because we don't have too much of one that we've got to factor in with those lower humidity values. 90 degrees right now in Lafayette feels like 92. Satellite and radar, all is quiet all across central Indiana and really the Ohio Valley for us. So if you're going to be heading out this evening, really going to have some pretty nice weather for any Saturday evening plans. Your temperature 86 degrees for you at 8 o'clock. We'll see that sun setting a little after 9 this evening, keeping those skies nice and clear. 77 by 11.
Kyle, thank you. Indianapolis is under a low air quality alert thanks to a combination of those high temperatures and light winds. But of course, that is not enough to keep Hoosiers inside. Like RTV6's Cameron Riddle, they are outside and should be taking extra precautions. Cameron, let's toss it out to you. Are you staying cool out there?
I am doing my best, Nicole. You don't have to live here very long to know that you need water because Indiana summers can be downright hot and uncomfortable. And as the temperatures continue to rise, it is important to stay hydrated over the coming days. It will not be long. Think about it, folks, before we are preparing for winter and that blast of cold air. Those are days us Hoosiers are used to preparing for. But too often in the summer, we let the heat catch us by surprise. The EPA says heat is the leading weather-related cause of death in the United States. Here in Indiana, that is top of mind for Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett, who is urging everyone to take caution in the summer the same way we do in the winter.
Stay inside if you can on days like today. Don't overdo it. Obviously, stay hydrated. And check on anybody who you know doesn't have air conditioning.
Mayor Hogsett says the city is ready to open up cooling centers if these hot temperatures stick around for a prolonged period of time. He says in the meantime, if you know someone who is having a heat-related problem that is not an emergency, you can call 211 to get them some help. And of course, if there is an emergency, do not hesitate to call 911. Live downtown, I'm Cameron Riddle, RTV6.
All right, Cameron, good advice. Well, a man wanted for shooting a customer during a credit union robbery is now under arrest. Muncie police say Jeremy Snyder is the man seen in surveillance photos from the Prime Trust Financial Credit Union on Wednesday. They believe he shot a customer who tried to intervene. Police had been searching for Snyder since Wednesday and warning the public that he was armed and dangerous. Officers arrested him in Indianapolis. Police in Frankfort are looking for a missing woman who may be in Monon or Gary. 32-year-old Chastity Marie Mora was last seen on May 28th in the town of Monon. She is 5'9" and weighs 143 pounds with blue eyes and brown hair. If you know where she is tonight, call Frankfort Police. A sad story tonight out of Decatur Township. Police say a landscaper is dead after a lawnmower flipped over and trapped him. It happened around 1 o'clock in a neighborhood on Minden Drive, just off of Southport Road. Police say a 45-year-old man was mowing on an incline when the lawnmower tipped over. Although police did say the man was not trapped under the blade side, police have not yet released his name tonight. Tonight, the cause of a fire that destroyed 5 homes in Tippecanoe County remains under investigation. As those families impacted try to figure out what's next, the Tippecanoe County Sheriff's Office is sharing a GoFundMe page for anyone who wants to help. The HOA president for the Lindbergh Village neighborhood set up the fund. It's called For the Survivors of the Lindbergh Village Fire. Right now, more than $4,000 has been donated. The Sheriff's Office is also warning that some people may take advantage of this unfortunate time and try to scam those willing to donate. They're warning tonight, always do your research before donating any money. It is now official. Governor Eric Holcomb announcing he is running for re-election for Indiana governor. A crowd gathered in Knightstown this afternoon for the announcement at the iconic Hoosier Gym. Governor Holcomb started things off by saying he is committed to moving Indiana forward for the next 4 years. He discussed the economy, job creation, infrastructure, and education. He also took time to address the opioid crisis facing the state and the current infant mortality rate.
We know our work will never be done, and this only inspires us to do more. That's why, exactly why, we've made reducing our infant mortality rate such a top priority in this administration. We will be the best in the Midwest by 2024, so more babies in Indiana can celebrate their first birthdays.
Democrats don't have a high-profile challenger to Holcomb, with business executive and former state health commissioner Woody Myers as their only declared candidate so far. As the crisis over immigration continues, many have been calling for more humane treatment of migrants being held at border detention facilities. And now with ICE raids planned that will target undocumented immigrants, those protests have grown, with thousands taking to the streets in cities from Boston to Los Angeles. Here's ABC's Trevor Alt with all the details.
In cities across the country, protesters taking to the streets ahead of this weekend's ICE raids.
Watch over those who live in constant fear that those flashing police lights are meant for them.
The president removing any mystery about the timing of the raids.
It starts on Sunday, and they're going to take people out, and they're going to bring them back to their countries.
ICE could target as many as 2,000 migrants on immediate deportation lists. Ahead of those raids, Vice President Pence toured an all-male adult detention center in Texas on Friday, run by border officials.
I couldn't be more impressed with the compassionate work that our Customs and Border Protection are doing here at this facility.
For the first time, our news cameras allowed inside the detention centers to document conditions during the vice president's visit. The men in chain link pens with Mylar blankets to help them stay warm.
We are not a terrorist.
The vice president believing Democratic members of Congress have exaggerated the poor conditions they saw at a different facility.
The time has come to stop the irresponsible rhetoric about the way that people are being cared for and treated who are being detained in our facilities.
But those Democrats standing by what they say they witnessed, some fighting back tears during testimony.
Imagine traveling thousands of miles in grueling and dangerous conditions because you have no other option, only to be separated from your family, from your children, thrown into overcrowded cages.
The overcrowding and unsanitary conditions inside the facilities have also been documented by the Inspector General of the President's own Homeland Security Department. Trevor Alt, ABC News, New York.
Trevor, thank you. Indianapolis 500 winner Simon Pagenaud will start from the pole for the IndyCar race through the streets of Toronto tomorrow. He edged out reigning series champion Scott Dixon for the top starting spot during qualifying today. Dave first spoke with Pagenaud about career goals, positive thoughts, and yoga.
So after a couple of weeks layoff or so, it might have been just the medicine for Simon Pagenaud, rejuvenated perhaps after the Indy 500 win. Did you need a couple of weeks off at all? Or I know it was, you guys were still busy though.
I'm still busy. My life has changed. I'm actually reorganizing myself and my team around me to, manage our time better. It's complicated, but it's a good thing. It's just about reorganizing yourself, and quite frankly, it's such an incredible thing to have won the Indy 500, and you have duties to be an ambassador, and I just had to find a way to do it the best I can, and that's how I live life. But we certainly put a big lap today in qualifying. That is very satisfying, and I'm ready for the second part of the season. It's time to pounce on the table.
I was going to say, now you can pounce on perhaps a championship, because you're still very much third in points, obviously. A lot of races left. This could be another championship year for you.
Absolutely, it is. I have no doubt, and I work by sending positive thoughts in the universe. That's how I work. So I am going to win this championship, and I'm going to be very hard to beat. So this is what we're going to do. We just have to be very focused on ourselves and just do things like we've done today, execute at the end, and just believe in ourselves.
Are you into yoga? Have you found your chi? Is this like namaste or something at the
A little bit of that, yeah. I mean, I think if you guys saw what happens in my motorhome, some weird stuff going on there for sure.
Perhaps we'll save that for another show. Congratulations, Simon Pagenaud.
You're not allowed.
Second pole this season, 12th for his career.
Thank you, Dave. I love that. Positive thoughts in the universe. Well, rounding out the top 5 in qualifying today, Scott Dixon in number 2, followed by Felix Rosenquist, Alexandra Rossi, and Joseph Newgarden. IndyCar driver Robert Wickens will be back behind the wheel of a car during the race tomorrow, but he won't be in a race car. He will be leading a parade lap. This is video of Wickens practicing yesterday. He posted this footage to his Twitter page. He will be driving a special Acura NSX that team sponsor Aero has equipped with hand controls. It's the next step in his recovery from that horrible wreck last year at Pocono. Still to come, Hurricane Barry made his presence known, and while he's calmed down a little, he's still a force to be reckoned with. We'll have the very latest. Kyle.
And that summer heat in full force again here in central Indiana. 5 of the next 7 days, we're going to be having those highs in the 90s. We'll talk about just how hot it's going to get. You're watching RTV6 News at 6.
99. This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Barry is now officially the first hurricane of the Atlantic hurricane season after making landfall as a Category 1 hurricane in Louisiana. Barry has since weakened to a tropical storm, but officials say it remains a dangerous and powerful storm. ABC's Elizabeth Herr is in New Orleans with the latest.
Barry making landfall, slamming into the central Louisiana coast as a Category 1 hurricane.
I also want to caution everybody, this is just the beginning. I ask everyone to stay vigilant.
The storm now no longer a hurricane, but authorities warning it is on the move, still packing punishing winds and torrential downpours. Morgan City, hard hit, with Barry uprooting trees, damaging homes and property, and at its peak, leaving the city totally in the dark.
The system's so fragile right now, utility director made a decision just to shut the city down. So we're 100% out of electricity at this point.
In Terrebonne Parish, a levee there overtopped by the rising water. These horses now rescued after becoming stranded.
Saw how deep the water was on their, almost to their necks. The water's still rising, so we knew we had to get them out.
This levee in Myrtle Grove also overtopped, but according to officials, not a single levee along the Mississippi River has failed. In New Orleans, for the first time in history, all of the city's floodgates were closed ahead of the storm.
It's been cool. It's been a little breezy, a little spattering of rain yesterday, but not enough to mount to anything.
Some residents now breathing a sigh of relief, but the mayor stressing the danger isn't over yet.
We are not in any way out of the woods, and we will continue to reiterate this today, tonight, and into tomorrow.
And this is one of the ways the city is trying to keep everyone safe. That is the Riverwalk along the Mississippi River here in the French Quarter, closed as a precaution, again with Barry still on the move. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New Orleans.
2 Indiana Task Force 1 members have been deployed to Louisiana as Barry makes landfall.
And a beautiful day here across central Indiana for any of your outdoor activities, including a parade. This was in Franklin earlier today. Rafael Sanchez getting this video for us. The 4-H Fair Parade ahead of the Johnson County Fair, which kicks off tomorrow, going through the streets of Franklin. You can see everybody cheering on the floats, and a nice day to have the top down on the Corvette and go for a little bit of a ride. Beautiful sunshine across central Indiana this afternoon and into this evening. Not a cloud to be found in the sky, and that allowed our temperatures to warm to around 90 degrees this afternoon. It's 89 in Indy, 88 for you right now in Martinsville, still in the lower 90s in Kokomo and Muncie. And as we go through the next 12 hours, it's going to be a little slower of a fall here in these temperatures into the 70s, and that's pretty much where we'll land by tomorrow morning because we're going to start to increase that humidity a little bit tonight. Upper 60s in Lafayette, 70 degrees in Indy, and 72 in Muncie. So that's where we're going to start off our Sunday. The other difference, well, the humidity. That's really going to be on the rise here as we go into the day tomorrow. And really, before we get into the remnants of Tropical Storm Barry moving into central Indiana. Tomorrow, though, we're not going to be dealing with much in the way of rain, just an isolated chance as we head through the afternoon. Temperatures a degree or two warmer than what we had today. 86 degrees for you by noon. Partly sunny skies at 4 o'clock and 91. With the humidity, those heat index values going to be into the middle 90s. So here's TrueCast, 2:30 tomorrow afternoon. Start to see a few of those cumulus clouds bubbling up, and that's where we could have a couple of those downpours. If you do see some rain, heavy rainfall, some lightning, that's going to be the main impacts here. These should not last all that long. Once we get to sunset, those will quickly fade away. Temperature-wise, yeah, that rain could cool us down just a little bit. 92 in Bloomington, 91 tomorrow in Indy and Lafayette, coming in the upper 80s. So here's the track of Barry. Of course, it's inland now. Notice by Tuesday, it's going to be over Missouri and heading towards central Indiana. Still looks like as we get into late in the day on Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll have some rain across central Indiana. The remnants of that tropical system. Right now, it looks like widespread, an inch to maybe a little bit more as far as rainfall. That would certainly be welcome, but kind of the caveat here, anytime we get these tropical systems and could have some thunderstorms, you could quickly pick up more rainfall than that. So we will keep an eye on any flooding potential here as we go toward the middle of the week. Highs before the rain gets here in the 90s through Monday. We're in the middle 80s with showers and storms on Tuesday and Wednesday. And as we get into the end of next week, yeah, the rain shuts off and the temperatures take off. We'll get those highs back into the lower and middle 90s. Next Saturday, 94 degrees.
A hot week ahead.
Yeah, and humid too.
I need Monday's weather to stay nice. I have a boating trip planned.
It looks like we'll be dry there.
Okay, right. Hope so. Thanks, Kyle. Well, coming up, giving women their space at the workplace and how some bosses say it makes for a much more productive setting. That's coming up.
$1.99. Aldi. Shop differently.
Co-working spaces have become more popular, especially for business owners and freelancers. But now Annie Taylor shows us one co-working space that's female dominant, and they say it's helping improve their
Women, like most people, really need connection and are seeking that. And so we create that here.
This is Rise Collaborative, a women-focused workspace.
Rise has two missions. One is to support women in building their social capital. And the second one is to build this pipeline for success for high school girls.
Sarah Butler, the general manager, says bringing women entrepreneurs together in one space to work exposes them to new possibilities.
The way we do that is by bringing people together to experience weekly professional learning. We have meeting spaces for women to come and meet together, work on their businesses, get feedback from each other.
Usually people come and go in normal co-working spaces, and there are plenty of glass walls. But at Rise Collaborative, there's more privacy, nursing rooms for new moms, and a membership to keep people from being transient.
How's your next mastermind going?
Oh, it's so exciting. The spark of opportunity that happens by women coming together and supporting one another and knowing each other's stories and being more top of mind for one another so that we can really lean into each other.
Cammie Gildner left corporate America to start her own business and podcast where she shares people's successes and failures.
This space just had such a different vibe for being able to come in here, be surrounded by amazing women doing amazing things in the world.
While working out of Rise, Cammie has grown her business and even featured some of the women she's met there on her podcast.
This is episode 109 of Extraordinary Women Radio.
As for Rise Collaboratives, their goal is to expand to other communities
and just impact the lives of women business professionals as well as high school girls who are looking to us as examples.
I'm Annie Taylor reporting.
RTV6 is working for you.
Round of applause for the National
Monument Circle is a busy place today as Indy Criterium Bike Festival is taking place. It's more than just a cycling race. It's a celebration of all things biking in our community. Over the years, thousands of dollars have been raised through the event to benefit Free Willin' Community Bikes. That's a youth development nonprofit that teaches kids safe riding and leadership skills. Today, Indianapolis Colts Pro Bowl tight end Eric Ebron spent some time with the kids. Ebron held his youth football camp at Park Tudor after school. There were over 230 kids at the camp, as well as coaches from the community. Ebron says he appreciates how the city of Indianapolis took him in his first year as a Colts player, and this is just one way to say thank you.
I just wanted to give back to the families, the kids, and like I said, the community, because how much they've pushed me and helped me get through this year, you know, being in a new state. It was the only thing that I could come up with to just, you know, recognize them and appreciate them.
This was, of course, just the first year for the camp, but Ebron says he hopes to do it year after year. And Kyle, a great day for that event there.
Yeah, and tomorrow is going to be a little warmer and more humid. You're going to notice that as you step out the door. And that factored in with highs around 90 degrees. We'll have heat index values in the middle 90s. Just an isolated shower or storm there. Best rain chances over the next week come our way Tuesday and Wednesday. That's when the remnants of Barry come our way.
All right, Kyle, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here at 11.